Good morning and welcome in to this live on this Friday morning. Sun is shining once more. It was on Monday, it is again today. That's all exciting stuff. We like to see a bit of sunshine. So welcome in. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. And this is me, www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk. That is where you will find my website and my blog and links to my classes and tutorial bundles and links to my shop and all of those sorts of things, and find out a little bit more about me. You can find all of that on my website. Things are crashing down around me. We have got a fundraising tutorial still available on the website. This is 13 demonstrators, myself included, from around the world that have put together this tutorial bundle, and we're selling it, and all proceeds will go to the Red Cross and their work out with the people in Ukraine. So do head over and pick yourself up a copy of that if you haven't already. Another offer that's on this month is the 20% off the mini stamping cut and emboss, and I'm sure that will be making an appearance today. But as well as that mini machine, there is also 13 other bundles available. And we're going to be using one of those today. We're going to be using the Welcoming Window bundle alongside our featured stamp set for today. And then just a few classes that are coming up. We have got the Hi Lisa. We've got the Ladybird One Sheet Wonder that's coming up in April. These are all coming up in April. We've got a stamper stack coming up using the Amazing Silhouettes bundle. That's in April. And then there is also a stamp camp. And the stamp camp is the same group of people that have put together that Ukrainian bundle, tutorial bundle, fundraising tutorial bundle. But this time it is a stamp camp, which happens on a Saturday. I think it's about, look at my calendar, I think it's the 30th of April, mainly for us here in the UK. So you buy the Symbols of Fortune bundle from me, or an equivalent, and then you get sent you get your tutorial bundle for free. You get the make and takes for everything in the tutorial bundle, and then there are 13 live presentations in an exclusive Facebook group, giving you 13 more things to create with that tutorial bundle, with that bundle. So you'll buy the bundle and you'll get 26 things to create with it. So always good value. And last but not least, my all-day retreat that is happening the 18th of June. So you get a goodie bag worth at least £50. You get fed all day. You don't need to bring a packed lunch. You get all your food included, as well as all your inspiration and things to be creating on that lovely day in the middle, down by the river, in the middle of the Northamptonshire countryside. So do come and join us for that. If you're not able to join us live and would like a retreat in a box, that is also available. The same goodie bag. Lots of the same sort of inspiration, but unfortunately you'll have to get your own lunch. But yes, so do come and join us for one of those. Right, let's take that off. Let's come back and let's bring in our downward camera. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be focusing on today, the Wildflower Path stamp set. And as is often the case, I've not even inked it up. So we're going to be having fun with that together this morning. So beautiful two-step stamp step. So you've got all your stems, and then you've got your various flowers and things to build up your blooms in your wildflower, along your wildflower path. And you've got the grasses and all sorts of things, and a few lovely little sentiments. You've got a happy birthday and a thank you in there. You've got a my heart is smiling because of you, and then you've got do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. So that's quite a well-known quote, but that would make quite a nice little home decor project or something. That might be a project for another day, or scrapbook page. That would be fabulous on a scrapbook page as well. So that lovely little stamp set, and we're going to be twinning that today with the Wildflower, the window flower box, and the welcoming window stamp set. So this welcoming window bundle is what we're going to be teaming that with today. You're going to be using that on at least one of our cards, and of course that is one of the bundles that is currently at 20% off during the month of March in that offer that includes the mini cut and emboss. Quick slurp of water, and then let's bring in, let's cut down this piece of card stock. So we've got some basic white card here, and I'm going to cut it down to, I think I'm going to go 9.5 by 13.9. Then somewhere I had cut myself a piece of scrap paper, and that is actually 3 centimeters wide by however long your bit of scrap paper is. I'm going to take some low tack tape. Let's get that sort of an angle. Do we want that on? Let's go about there, I think, and I'm going to stick that down either side. So we're making ourselves a little pathway through the middle. Right, let's have a little look at these stamp sets, these stamps. Ooh. We'll start off by throwing it on the floor because that's always a good start. Morning, Jackie. I've made myself that pathway. I might actually need a bit more scrap paper because the stems on this are quite long, but I'm still going to sort of maintain that I want that little strip because that's the width I want. My other piece of scrap paper I'm going to move around, but that piece is going to stay static. Is that big enough? That's, yeah, that will be big enough, I think, to cover the rest. Oh, now I've knocked my cardstock. Perhaps I need to anchor that down as well. Let's do that. I'm going to stick my bit of low tack tape on my jumper just to take a bit more tack off of there. And then we'll just need to be aware of that little gap down the bottom there. Right, so I've got a couple of different stems in here. And some grasses. Let's start off with our stems and our grass. Let's start off with the green stuff. Now, is the H block long enough? Yes, it is. I've picked out 2 greens there. I think I might need a third. What shall I have? I might go soft succulent, actually. I don't want to go too dark. So I've got old olive, pear pizzazz, and soft succulent greens in there. Let's start off with some old olive. I'm going to take this stem, and we'll have one just there, and one coming up just there, I think. might need a third. We'll see how we go in a minute. I'm going to bring in the other stem. Morning, Louise. Let's ink that up with some soft succulent. I'll have that there, and coming across in there, and I think coming up there. Then I'm going to take this grassy stamp. That looks an interesting patchwork, doesn't it? Let's come in with the Pear Pizzazz. And let's just have some bits of grassiness coming up there. I'm going to come back in a minute and do the other side. So I'm going to pop my stamps with the ink pad that I used, so that I know which went with which when it comes to doing the other side. Right, let's have a look at our flowers now. Oh, sorry, wobbling you. So we've got a couple of sort of long flower pieces that are going to fit on our stems. And then we've got some individual flowers as well. So we've got sort of these little ones just here, and we've got these sort of look like thistly ones down the bottom here. So little ones here, thistly ones here. And I think these ones are little individual ones as well. So we've got quite a few little individual flowers on there. But let's start with these ones just here. Is that going to fit on there? Not quite. And then this one, actually, let's go this one first, the slightly bigger one. What colour flowers shall we have? I've got some Highland Heather here, some Pale Papaya, some Blushing Bride, sort of pastel-y colours. No reason why you can't go brights. But I'm going to go pastel-y colours. Now, I think what we'll do, before we go any further, is just to one side on my scrap paper. Let's do a little mix and match and experimenting first. So I'm going to stamp one of my soft succulent stems, and one of my old olive stems. Not quite clear enough, but hopefully. In fact, let's go the other side. Working round my camera. I still haven't caught that top leaf. That's better. Right, let's have a little look. I think you can see you've got a flower's going to sit there, 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 and there. So I think that is this stamp just here. So sort of trying to wiggle that round. They are about in the right position. About like that. That looks good, doesn't it? So while we've got our eye in on that one, let's come in. So that's on our old olive stem. To do one of those, and those. Old Olive and Highland Heather is such a lovely combination. I did see actually when I was trailing through Pinterest, as you do, somebody had created one of these cards using green and well, I would imagine it probably was Old Olive and Highland Heather, and it looked just beautiful. Now this is our, I think, our other one. Let's have a look. We've got a stalk there, stalk there, stalk there. Which way round is that going to go? I think about like that. And we've got our eye in. Do, do, do. They are fairly forgiving, so if you are completely off, then it's not the end of the world. Okay. Just going to very carefully lift up one end to decide whether I want any more little flowers in there. I'm not sure that I do, but what I do want is to grab my green blending brush, and I think Pear Pizzazz, and just very softly to go over this edge. Right, now we're going to do the other side. Now we could have done both of these, done one side and then done the other all in one foul swoop, but we didn't. Let's put our scrap paper the other side, and then have some soft succulent. Some Old Olive. And then some Pear Pizzazz. Grass just peeping over the edge. Actually, while I've got this one on here, let's do our I'm upside down now. Take that stamp off of there, bring this stamp back in. Let's come in with our Highland Heather. not least, that centerpiece now looks really quite full, doesn't it? We're going to take that away in a minute. Right, a little tickle of Pear Pizzazz. So have any of you got this stamp set? Has anybody had a play with it? I've not actually had it that long, and as you could see, I haven't touched it at all. I hadn't yet had an opportunity to play, but I do like these sort of two-step stamping. We've had similar sorts of stamp sets in the past. They are so pretty. Let's take away our centre strip, and voila, our rather bizarre looking piece of paper has now disappeared. And I thought I would go with the sentiment that says, my heart is smiling because of you. And I think perhaps we'll come in with soft succulent. And we are really struggling to see around my camera. Right, let's get some cardstock to mount that on. Now, shall we go with one of the greens? Shall we go with Highland Heather? I'll fetch a couple and we will decide. Decisions. Or shall we have a bit of both? We could go a bit of both, couldn't we? It's quite pretty, isn't it? I think that is the answer. A bit of both. So let's cut ourselves. It's going to be 14.4 by 10. Obviously, if you are using Imperial cardstock, you will want this to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, I think, if my memory serves me well. And this one we're going to cut in half. Oh, that end looks as if it's been in the wars a little bit. Let's turn it round. I'll cut that at just a smidge under 14.9. So half a piece of cardstock scored in half, whatever that looks like for you. Soft succulent. Oh, didn't do very well cutting that, did I? We're going to have a little bit of a trim, I think. What size did I cut that? Oh, 10.5 rather than 11.5. So let's take it down to 10 on this side and take it down to 9.5 on that side. That's better. Pretty. Now, let's take this linen thread down this line just here. Maybe been a little bit generous with that, but we'll have a tweak and a play with that and make that how we want it to look. Let's snip those ends off. I'm going to, she says hopefully, yes, take some tear and tape. Just going to anchor that down on the back at the angle we want it. This is an opportunity, if it's a little bit slack, just to take up that slack. Bit of a play just there. Okay. Obviously this card will want a white insert in it. Stamp some more of these little flowers and things. Let's cut that down. Let's come in with, let's see, this is the old olive stem. So I don't want it to come up very high, about there, I think. The Highland heather flowers. This looks as if it's got pale papaya on it, but it hasn't. It's just that the block has. So it's showing through. And then let's just have a little tickle of grass in the corner. And we'll pop that on the inside. So I've cut that down to 13.9 by 9.5. I tend to give them slightly wider border on the inside. So there we are. We've masked off that centre pathway and done wildflowers growing either side of it. And that really pretty sort of Highland heather and soft succulent colour palette. So there's one little card. Let's pop that to one side. While we have a play with another. I'll hang my scissors back up. And we are going to make ourselves a bit of a window for this one, I think. We'll have a window on a wildflower meadow. I think that's the plan. So these window dies are fabulous. You've got your windows, you've got your shutters, got all of that going on. Rather beautiful. I don't know that I want do I? Yes, we will have a window frame. Oh, sorry, kicking the stand. We'll have our shutters coming back. Shall we have a little window ledge? Not necessarily. Perhaps actually we'll have a bit more of a mantle going on, I think. And we'll need some hinges. So let's cut these. I think I'm going to do them in white, actually. I want it to be fairly clean and simple-ish. Let's bring in our mini cut and emboss. And our number 1 plate and 2 number 2s. I'll cut down a piece of basic white to 8.5 centimeters because I know that will fit quite nicely through my machine. And let's have a look. What have we got here? We'll have our shutters. Are they going to go side by side? Yes, I think they will, just as worked out. Our window frame. And let's have our little mantelpiece. Now, I have been a little bit naughty there and put quite a few dies on there. I'm not sure whether I took that through enough to cut that mantle. Let's take it all the way through again. Okay, so I've run that backwards and forwards a couple of times. Let's have a look. There's our window frame. There's our 2 embossed shutters. Here's our little mantelpiece. Just pop those dies back. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of smoky slate, I think, for that. So while I was grabbing smoky slate, I've also grabbed smoky slate ink. Let's just run this through. Make our little hinges. You could of course do these in silver foil. We could have done them in something like crumb cake and made them more of a light wood effect. And there we are, that little die has cut 4 hinges. Put that die back so we don't lose that one. Put our cutting mats away. Right, I'm just going to give this brush a good rub because it has been used for purple ink and I don't want it for purple ink at the moment, so let's give that a good rub. I want it for some smoky slate, because I just want to sort of take down the whiteness of these frames and things a little bit, and the mantelpiece, just give it a bit of a distress on the window frame. And then this shutter as well. Let's come around the edges of that. I'm just going to stick these little hinges on here because I know what will happen. I'll take my eyes off them and they'll be gone. Glue on the end there. Take out the other and then we can match those up. Get a little bit of embossed detail on these. Oh, helps if they stick to the shutter and not my finger. And last but not least, about there, straighten it up a little bit. Right, so there's our hinges on our shutters. We have our window for the centre, and we have our little bit. I think I might come in a little bit harder on this, just with the ink that's already on there. Okay, so that's our basic window. Let's get a bit of basic white card. And cut that at 9.5 by 13.9. So not your first mat size, your second size. Now if I come into my welcoming window stamp set, I will find a bit of card that I have cut that window out of. Now it is a bit wonky, want to try straightening that up a little bit really, but let's have that card straight and then we'll be able to make that straight. We should be about right. Where I have my blue blending brush. And some balmy blue ink. Let's just bring in our pieces of low tack tape that we used a little while ago. So all I've done is I've cut this out of a piece of cardstock and it's left me a window sized gap. So let's just bring in some balmy blue ink. And we'll have a bit of sky outside of the window. And then just reach over and grab my stamping scrub. Give that a bit of a spritz. Need to get some more stamping scrub spritzy spray. That's on my... I'm going to leave that one at Old Olive. So let's clean this one up because I want this one to be Pear Pizzazz this time. So let's grab our Pear Pizzazz ink pad. And I've got a stamp on each edge. And I'm going to leave this window in place. And stamp Pear Pizzazz. Let's bring in some Old Olive. That's that side. Let's do some flowers and then we'll see what else we need. So let's change our colours up a little bit on our flowers. Blushing Bride. This is the slightly bigger flower just here. And this other smaller flower I'm going to do with some coastal Calypso Coral. Coastal Cabana would be a strange choice. There. And about there. Let's just put that back in place. Take our little green grass. I think we will go back to Pear Pizzazz. Not too worried if I'm getting a gap at the bottom, because we are going to have our window frame in there. We are going to have our frame and our window, our mantle and those sorts of things. I'm going to take the little thistly stamp and an A block. I'm going to come back in with Highland Heather. And add some little swooshes of flower just there. So I think let's take that away. Add in our window. And our shutters. Our mantle. It's looking rather sweet. Right, but that is very stark, that white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refine, it says with great confidence, the smoky slate ink. Where have you gone? I found you. And we'll come in all around the edge here with some smoky slate. Just sort of gives a bit of a shadowy sort of effect around the edge. Now what I can also do is, if I look at the welcoming window set, you have got this sort of brick effect stamp. Keep knocking you. Let's just have a few little bricks going up the side there. Right, I'm going to bring in my window now. Let's put our window in place. We'll pop that over there. To bring it up so that the top is completely covered, because we've got a bit of mantle to come in down here. Now, do I want these? No, I think I'm going to stick these on flat. One. can do so much with window dies. You can have sort of Christmassy themed ones where you've got the tree peeping in, or you can see the tree from outside. You can perhaps make quite a cute little scrapbook page. You could have a photo behind it. Someone coming to visit. All of my dimensionals seem to have gone walkies. Oh no, there's some. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And then we need a sentiment. We could have a happy birthday or a thank you. I'm going to grab a little bit of smoky slate cardstock. I'm going to cut a smoky slate mat to go behind there. Don't know what I did there, that was a bit fluffy. I think there was a piece of card caught next to it. So a happy birthday going to fit on there? Yes, I do believe it is. Happy birthday. Let's just trim that across. I didn't decide whether I wanted to shape the ends, but I don't think I do. I do think I want to slightly come in and distress those edges. And we will take a little bit of smoky slate. And let's mat that. These are not my favourite scissors. Those are across the other side of the room. There we go. We'll pop a few dimensionals on the back of that as well. And let's find ourselves a white card base, I think. Yeah, I like that. I don't think it wants to be any more fussy than that. So there we go. Let's give that a bit of a haircut. And add that in. So there we go, a couple of cards using that Wildflower Path stamp set, which is just here. That doesn't look anything like the results you get, does it? It is one of those stamp sets that you really have to play with it, because if you look at that, you really think, what the heck? But when you start playing, it's really pretty. And we've combined that with the welcoming windows, the stamp set and the dies to create our little window onto a wildflower meadow. Sounds like a castle or something, doesn't it? Name like that. So yes, so there's a couple of cards. They are really pretty and easily overlooked stamp set, I think, but one that is well worth popping in your basket because it is just so pretty and fun to play with and mix and match colours and all of those sorts of things. So let's come back up this way. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. We're heading into the weekend here. I have an all-day class tomorrow, so for those of you that are joining me, looking forward to that. If you're not joining me but would like to on future ones, then do check out my website and do come and join us. Yeah, so see you tomorrow, Jackie. I'm off to finish preparing for that now. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. Hope the sun shines for you all, and I will be back again next week.